following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
And I'm ready to go crazy because the Celtics are going all the way.
Hey, Nick, go handle our light work.
Bowl games matter.
I would like a cold cut sandwich.
Attaboy, Hopper.
You can call him Eamon Owens because he ain't got no D and he ain't got no J.
James Madison.
Turn your body cams off. Do what you do.
Hey, everybody, what is going on? It is Tuesday night. That means it's time for another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. With me, as always, is Scott. Scott, how you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. I love it when we learn new things about each other. Oh, especially just moments before the show starts. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, my God.
We'll peek. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah said body cam is off, so thank you. To peek behind the curtain right before we went on the air, Scott was talking fantasy baseball, of course, and he was talking about his team being named for Bryce Harper, and he wanted to name the team Attaboy Harper for Caesar, and out of nowhere, Mookie just parachutes in with, "Is that what he's saying there?" He had no clue. But in the intro, Caesar says, "Attaboy Harper." No clue.
Yeah, look, man, he says it really fast.
Oh, God, and that's what made it worse. You doubled down like a true white American. Oh,
I mean, like, I got
fast. I can't understand that.
I got no defense.
His saucy language. He's got to slow it down for me. My God, dude.
I can't.
So
there's
white.
nothing to say to defend it. I just have to hold this L. But at least now I know, and like I feel so glad that now I understand, because I always wondered too. Is the other thing? It wasn't like I thought he was saying something else, and then I was like, oh no, like I had no idea. I was like,
this whole time you've just gone with it. Never brought it up. Never raised the hand to be like, by the way, what was it? You could have hidden that with like, I don't remember that clip. What were we talking about in that clip? And then we could have told you, and then you would have been, the light would have gone off. You could have saved some face.
Yeah, and this is where my guy Caesar would usually jump in and get my back, just because like he was a boy like that. He always wanted to make sure everyone was cool.
He would have ripped on you for that one.
But I'm okay about it. It's
Gabe's saying you're high rated. No, Gabe, it was just giggly from Mookie.
Yeah, no, it was. I wish it was more high than that.
It was just
Mookie being Mookie.
I didn't even think twice about not saying anything either for getting called out for it. It was just like, oh shit, yes, like I know what that is now. Awesome. And I am white as mayonnaise. I'll own that.
You are. How you feeling, Mook? Everything going well for you? Outside of
if this is how we're starting off, great, because we also survived like the tornado cane of 2024 here in Cincinnati. So there was a part of me, the way they were hyping this shit up, I was like, fuck, like, what's going to happen is we're going to lose power at like 7:50.
I was totally expecting that to happen.
Yeah, because like everyone here in Cincinnati, there was this big storm system that blew through. Everyone's been talking about it all day. Schools were closing. They sent an email out today saying people could leave to go home early, the ones that they made go back in the office. And it's just like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, right, exactly. So I'm great. We survived Death Storm, and now we had a fun Caesar moment. So can't complain, right?
It's a good Tuesday.
Great Tuesday.
PJ from Essential Guy talked in the comments saying, "Hey fellas, what's up, PJ? Good to see you, man." Sarah wants to know, Mookie, do you feel more shame sober or drunk regarding the things that you say?
I mean, her question is fundamentally flawed because I just don't feel shame. So
there's the soundbite for the next intro. I need that one clipped for sure.
4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah, we got an awesome show tonight. We got to talk this Iowa LSU game from last night. This was like the game of the century, and the numbers that it did, guys, was crazy. Absolutely crazy numbers in that one. So we'll talk about that game. I want to talk about this North Carolina State run that's going on and how improbable that's been. Also, we've got a baseball conspiracy theory that we have to get to regarding everyone's favorite team, the Oakland Athletics. So stick around for that one, because that's going to be awesome. before we get to all of the craziness and all of the hygiene. Oh, and we're doing that hockey tonight. We're going to do that hockey tonight.
Yeah, we are.
We're
man, home
absolutely doing
stretch
that
here.
hockey tonight. So we're going to do that later. Before we get to all that, though, let's talk about these beers that we were drinking. We're rating them on the Caesar scale, as always. Dog or no dog? Scott, what is in your mug? Dog or no dog?
It's a new month, so that meant I had to get beer. I am drinking. I went with another theme, so next week you'll have to tune in to see how it rates against this theme. But I am doing local again as well. Sonder Brewing Company's Carmen's Carrot Cake, a dessert ale.
I saw that.
Yeah, dude. When I saw it, I'm like, that. It was the only 6 that they had left. It is a dessert ale with carrot, graham cracker, vanilla, and cinnamon. Yeah, it's only 4.8%, but it doesn't matter because this shit is a dog. It says multiple places it's brewed with real carrots, and that is a flavor that it kind of pops with the cinnamon, but it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm jealous I didn't pick
Dog.
it up. I saw it and I totally should have.
Yeah, if you see it again, go on ahead and grab one because it's very delicious. I like it.
All right, Mookie, what do you got in your mug and dog or no dog?
Yeah, this is another dog from Brewdog. Their shit's solid, man. Now it says it's probably pronounced Nanny State, but I'm gonna call it the Nanny State because looking at it as like this dog can get it like Fran Drescher. Great show for you kids out there. Look it up.
What?
Dude, honestly, like tell me that Fran Drescher is not.
Yeah, I'm not saying that what you said wasn't factual, but how you got there, it was just all kinds of out of pocket. I'm like, wait, what? How do we get to Fran Drescher from there? That was...
Or it was just regular. Let's be honest.
Oh.
Like,
well, I mean, yeah, for you, but it was still just, it was quite the detour.
Once again, there's another example of trying to crawl inside Mookie's head and get from one spot to the next is a dangerous.
I don't know how we started there at banging Fran Drescher. Like, it was just.
If Miss Frizzle shrunk down that magic toolbox and got inside Mookie's head, the things that she would find with those kids.
Like, what do you think it would like look like in there and shit? Like, you know what? It'd probably be like in Futurama where Fry gets worms, but they make him super smart. It'd probably be something like that. But yeah, Nanny State from Brewdog, Hoppy Golden, super solid. It's a very nice spring beer too. So absolute dog from Brewdog.
All right, fantastic. Let's catch up on the comments here, see what everybody else is drinking. Oh, Rex wants to know, are we going to talk tennis tonight? Rex, just for you, I'll bring in a little tennis for you. I'll find an update just to get that drop played.
I was just gonna say,
I know where Rex is going.
Can we just click it?
And I got you. Gabe is drinking Texas Rig Imperial IPA, 8.5% ABV from Southern Pines Brewing Company. He said dog and gave
Southern Pines is solid, man.
They are. I missed
show
Chase's comment. Chase with his R&B album photo said, "Gonna need that big boy from North Carolina State to line up at O-line for some drills. I'm trying to see something."
For doing non-beer.
They already have NFL coaches reaching out to him. Like scouts are reaching out.
Of course they are. Yeah, I mean, if he's got basketball footwork, that translates. And Essential Guy Talk, who I know we know their name, but
BJ.
I don't. It's BJ. Thank you. So Scott, how scared are you of this insanely talented Mets team?
I'm tremoring like every night, like losing sleep. I'm just hoping they can make it through the White Sox these 3 days, and then we can't get too far ahead of ourselves. Staring down the barrel of the Mets. It's gonna be a dogfight in the NL East.
Gabe also chiming in saying he saw pumpkin beer and Christmas beer at the store today. What is going on?
That's because it's always a good time for either. I mean, what is going on?
Fair, yeah.
Both of those are never not in season, so I think that's great. I would have picked up all of them. I would have bought all of them. Sarah said the nanny was solid.
I mean, yeah, dude. Life lessons galore, plus Fran Drescher in her prime.
Mr. Sheffield.
Yeah.
That's my nanny.
Tell me what to do.
Oh, God.
And there it is. And another hard left. Like, I don't know how we got there. Just skirt.
I feel dirt. I need a shower after that, fellas. Oh,
yeah.
Just got a glimpse into what it's like being Mookie's wife, and I did not like it. Rex said
she's a sweet lady. Yeah, she's a good woman.
Your wife is a saint. Rex is drinking Voodoo Ranger Captain Dynamite IPA. He says it's a dog. Biscuit's got that Dr. Pepper and cream soda, zero sugar. He said it's the biggest dog in the pound, like a big ass Tibetan mastiff.
Oh man, dude, nice. That's a deep cut right there. That's solid.
Dude, my kid's got Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps for Easter this weekend, and
Yeah.
it's solid. I'm not a Peeps guy. That sent me. That's some good stuff. Robert made it. Shout out Robert Taylor. What's up, man? Go ahead.
Did you joust with your Peeps? Have you shown your kids how to do that?
No, not yet, because I still
awesome.
like my microwave and I don't feel like cleaning all that up.
Wait. What is jousting?
Oh, you've never seen this
You've
shit?
never
It's awesome.
seen Peeps jousting?
No.
Oh, dude, it's great.
You take
put a
two.
toothpick inside toothpick, like two Peeps on either side of the microwave. Each one has a toothpick, and then you turn the microwave on, and as they expand, the toothpick goes after. It's
And one of them eventually pops the other first, and then they win. Like,
Yeah, that sounds like a fun thing to do in somebody else's microwave.
exactly.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess you guys probably went to someone else's house at least once for Easter. So
Yeah, but I never heard
Good
of it. This is the
opportunity.
first time hearing of this. I'm
Peeps
too busy-
jousting.
I'm
It
too
is
busy
right out. It's
eating
sweet.
the Peeps, I guess.
Scott's like, I wasted these Peeps.
Yeah, I know. I'm not exploding these Peeps. Why?
shit's expensive, man.
I mean, it was the good candy. It was the good Easter candy. We had those. Hey, yo, look! When you
All
had,
right, look, it's
when
okay. It's
when
okay.
all you had else was the solid chocolate bunny that you sat there and gnawed at through about a week, and then ended up throwing away, and then the Brock's jelly beans, not the good shit, the Brock's
yeah.
jelly beans.
Ugh,
Yeah. So Peeps, they were fucking royalty, my friend.
Yeah,
We were
fair
broke.
I
enough.
used to get so mad at my mom because she would leave the bunny for like a day, and then she would chop up all the bunnies and put them all the chunks in one bowl, and I always got cheated. My brother would go ham on those bunnies. I never got a full bunny, man. My brother crushed them shit. Not a cool move on her part. Chase, he's drinking Atomic Apple from Alien Labs. It's a hybrid with 28% THC
God. Oh. Ha.
and a blue
Okay.
Gatorade, blue flavored, Mike.
That's awesome.
I am not a co-op. Pretty awesome. That's a good call out there. Let's see. Robert Taylor said he's not drinking anything major tonight, just a Modelo.
Gelato.
Go ahead with that one. I got nothing.
No, he corrected himself.
Refreshing.
He corrected himself below. It wasn't Modelo Chelsea. It's Modelo Gelato Limon y Sal. Refreshing after a long day.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
The
And
guy
then,
who didn't understand Caesar. Reese.
yeah.
Classic. Just classic.
BJ pointing out those Christmas beers and pumpkin beers are leftover stock from last year. Who cares? It's still good,
It doesn't
baby.
matter.
Still
Yeah.
good. Let's see. I am way behind on these. Okay, I think
Sarah said finishing off some wine, but also chiming in saying microwaving Peep is a lot better than microwaving soap, but equally as enjoyable.
What?
I haven't done.
I haven't either, but I'm going to.
What? Like,
And then
why?
BJ said he's going to go grab a Central Waters Peruvian Morning from 2019. Got a few left in the cabinet. It's bourbon barrel aged coffee stout. It sounds
shit.
like heaven is what that is. I'm all on board with that. Gabe with the correct take. Reese's
Yep.
Ales, better than Peeps.
Yep.
Scott, you inspired me last week. So I mixed 2 beers that I had left over from my founders. So I did like
There
a
you
little,
go.
That's
I
like
did a little-
extra crap.
Okay,
right
but do
there,
they
Mike.
make sense? Like I try to make mine make sense. Like don't
Scott.
just go
I-
wild and ham with it.
No. I'm not
Like go
mixing
just have
them.
hams and something. I call this concoction going ham. Like, no, don't do that.
No, this makes sense. These are both founders beers. So I got the all day IPA, the
Oh,
session
so
ale.
good.
And then I got the all-night IPA, which is the Session Black IPA. So I've got a little black and tan IPA going all day, all night, is what I like to call this one. And it's
nice.
It's a dog. This is
that sounds sexy.
You know what I'm saying?
All day, all night IPA.
You get me, Scott. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is a good mixture. Listen, if you find all night and all day, go ahead and just like mix them up. It's a good brew. It's definitely a dog. All right, let us know in the comments what you guys are drinking. Shout out Matt Barr. He said sorry he's late. Traffic from Monica's house was rough. All right, man.
Also, shots fired from your boy Chase, because if they were that good, then there wouldn't be overstock. Absolutely correct take. I mean, you can't really argue with that much, right? Matt also saying he's got a peach triple Belgian 8.2% from Hardywood Brewing. Dog.
I mean,
Pause.
it was better because you just.
Oh man! All right, fellas, let's start the show off.
16 minutes. We got through beer. Awesome.
That's not bad. That's pretty.
Yeah,
quick
that's.
for us.
I was gonna say that's pretty solid.
Let's talk basketball.
Boom shakalaka!
All right, fellas. I know we have not been into the March Madness at all, but we all have been interested in the women's tournament, and we got our showdown. I'm disappointed it was this early in the tournament. I wanted this LSU Iowa matchup in the title game again. So when the brackets came out, I was disappointed that they were going to meet this early, but it lived up to the hype. It was a great game. Caitlin Clark balled out. Angel she fouled out. Caitlin took the high road, didn't wave to her, although the fans did and taunted her as she left. Kim Mulkey is crazy. Like, it had it all. It was banana land for me, but I loved it. And a couple of numbers. So I saw this before we went on the air tonight. There were 12.3 million viewers of that game last night. That is an insane number. And to put it in perspective for you, that is more viewers than any women's college basketball game ever. The 2023 NBA Finals, the 2023 World Series, the 2023 Orange Bowl, the 2023 Big Ten Championship, the 2023 Cotton Bowl, the 2023 Pac-12 Championship, the 2023 Big 12 Championship, the 2023 ACC Championship, the 2023 Peach Bowl, every Thursday night football game, and every 2023 college football regular season game except for Ohio State and Michigan. That's what they outdrew last night in that Iowa LSU game. I'm hooked, fellas, and it's great to see. I noticed the discussion was like about the game today. Like, people were talking about the game and weren't talking about like, wow, women's basketball, huh?
How about that stuff?
Look at them. They've come a long way.
Wow. Like, all the coverage I heard was like about the game, and there were articles about the game, and there were articles about the players. And I was like, shit, people are finally like treating a woman's sport like the men's sports. Like, this is amazing. They're just covering the game like it's just another game. And I thought that was pretty badass to see. Scott, I know you had your show last night. You had Backwards K. So I don't know how much of the game you got to see, but did you get to catch up at all on that Iowa LSU game?
I caught up on the highlights this morning, and you want to know why? I actually sought them out, which is more than I can say for a single tournament game on the men's side. I didn't look for anything from that tournament because I don't know who's in it. I know who's playing in the women's tournament, even if it's only like 4 or 5 girls. That's 4 or 5 more than I know on the men's side. So, like, that says it all. And good for them. I'm glad that people were talking about the game. It looked like it was a good game. I don't know. Caitlin dropped 41 points. Like, she's fantastic to watch. And I'm happy for the sport, and like in a non-patronizing way. I mean, when we were in college, and I mean, it's not that long ago, it was pretty bad basketball. Like, let's just be honest. Every now and then you'd have a matchup that was kind of okay, but it still ended up usually being kind of lopsided, and there was like one dominant player. Like, it's nice to see that they've got like multiple dominant players on each team, and people are tuning in droves. Like, it's great. Like, I'm glad that the product has gotten so much better, and it'll only continue to get better as they become better athletes, like, over time. Like, it's kind of, it is an evolution of these things. Like, men sucked ass at playing basketball when they first started too. Nobody wants to go back and watch old basketball because it was terrible. So, the women have to, like, I mean, like, let's be real. Like, it's been, it's just an evolution of these things. So, it's great to see. Like, that's really all I have to say. It's awesome.
I think what helps, honestly, is the parity in the sport. Like, I think the fact that UConn was so dominant for so long, people weren't as into it. Like, yeah, you kind of wanted to see the UConn streak either continue or you wanted to see it snapped. But for the most part, people weren't tuning in on a regular basis because you didn't have the talent spread out like you do now. Like, with South Carolina being as dominant as they have been over the last couple of years, Caitlin Clark's star power, you had Angel Reese as like this polarizing figure, which anytime you can have an athlete that just divides the race lines down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
You get some talking going on.
White versus black. We've never seen this play out before. Nobody will tune in to see this race war.
But then, like, once you have those, like, the characters, like the personalities, and they're not all centralized on one team, it helps the entire sport.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is the college female version of Bird and Magic. I mean, if we're being honest, like, when you talked about it from that angle, or it's just like you have those competing fan bases, but I'm sure that there are certain people rooting for a certain player just based on, skin color.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, so, like, and it was the same way with, the Magic Bird thing, so it's evolved. They're catching up, man.
So you're saying they're only like what, like 40, 50 years behind then by that math? Like,
hold on. Let's figure this out, because Scott's timeline is very confusing, because he did say women's basketball when we were in college, it wasn't that long ago, and Sarah rightfully pointing out it was 20 years ago. It's been 20 years.
I know, but like, I'm saying in terms of like where the game has come from. Like, it seems like it moved rather quickly, where for a long ass time it was pretty stagnant. Like, it was unwatchable for quite a while.
And I don't know what it was that triggered it either, but it's a damn good.
I don't either.
Like,
I mean, like I said, there were some teams in there, but
it's also like, you just get these personalities, these players that are amazing to watch too. Like, Matt Barr said back in the day, it was Diana Taurasi dropping 35 in Lehigh and no one cared. Like, absolutely. It just wasn't like, whatever. But then you watch Angel play, and it's just, I don't know, it brings another level to the game too, because, like, I think, honestly, I want to give a lot of credit. I can't believe I'm going to say this because I know I'm going to get roasted, but, like, I think the ESPN broadcast, they do a great job of breaking it down too. Like, there's a lot of great talk about, like, the tactics and strategy in basketball. I think it being in quarters helps too. Like, it makes it more consumable, chops it up a little bit, but it also adds that end of the quarter strategy where, like, they were, I think it was in the third quarter yesterday, or no, it was the first quarter, because I was watching the USC UConn game, because fuck the Trojans. And they were talking about how they could get a 2-for-1 at the end of the first quarter. And I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. Because we're only playing whatever it is, 8 minutes or whatever. So it's Scott said some shit, okay? Matt Barr.
No, I didn't, bitch.
Yes.
Don't throw me under the bus.
Fine. It was Diana Taurasi dropping 35 in Lehigh, and no one cared. These girls are crushing it. More interesting than the men's bracket, Matt Barr. Congratulations. Now everyone still hates you anyways. Like, it wasn't that
out the audio-only audience, Mookie.
E-Man Woman Haters Club over here.
Yeah. Matt Barr.
Can I jump in there, Moo? Because I think it just hit me why I think people have come around to women's basketball more than they did, like, back in the day. And I think it's a byproduct of the evolution of the men's game. Like, the men's game used to be, it was dunks. It was big man, like, powering you inside and then slam dunks, and everybody would lose their mind. And, like, that was always the the dig
Yeah.
on women's basketball was they're not even dunking. Like, oh, nice layup. Like the sweet mid-range jumper you got there. Like everybody shit on it because it wasn't that like physical slam dunk, like Shaq putting his nuts in somebody's face kind of basketball. It was more of like the technical game. And now that the men's game has evolved and pushed out and it's more 3-pointers and people just throwing it up from the logo, it makes that version of the game more palatable to a broader audience that didn't like it before. So in a way, it feels like the men's game changing is what helped bring along the women's game to be more popular and more mainstream than it was 20 years ago.
Thanks for mansplaining that to us, Mike.
Yeah, really. You dick.
All I'm trying to say is give the men's game some credit for helping out the ladies. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, so
Race card.
what you're saying is without us men, the women would have never been able to get this popular, and we carried their asses here. Wow, sexist ass shit, dude.
We
I
can
can't believe
thank
you right
Steph Curry. Steph Curry walked so Caitlin Clark could run, okay?
Wow. Sarah saying figures that men would find a way to still take credit. And see, yeah, Mike, you're getting another one of these too.
Race card.
A race card? Give
Because
me
we don't have a
boo that
sexism
man.
card, but you'd be getting that if I
Boo
had
that
it. So
man.
you
Don't
get
throw it.
that.
You
instead.
can't throw a race card willy-nilly around here, Mookie. It's a boo that man or it's nothing. Like, come on.
Oh, I forgot
Learn
we
how to
had
run
that
the
one.
board.
Hold on. I'll give you that one too then.
Boo this man!
But I'm also glad that Matt Barr said it, so I don't have to be the OWG that does. But he said it's a byproduct of watching the same players develop for 4 years. One and done killed men's college basketball. And I do think that's a part of it. Having Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark around for 2 years to have like their what was it, the national title game last year that they were able to talk about and build up heading into this game this year, like there's an aspect of that does bring people in.
I don't know. I know Matt mentioned that as well as like the death of college basketball on the men's bracket and why it's not as interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily the case because prior to we just didn't have those good kids coming to the bat. Like you had guys playing 4 years.
Not only that,
good. Like
not only that, none of them are. They're just not like stars anymore. We had one and done kids that were stars. Like we've had one and done
I think
guys that draw eyes to the game, but there are none of those guys right now. Like I don't know anybody in men's college basketball. I can't name you a single player that doesn't play for Xavier. I just can't.
Kyle Flipakowski or Flipafowski.
Yeah, I mean, the big fucking goofy
the
Purdue
kid from
kid.
Duke. What about Zach Eady, the tall kid from Purdue?
The big fat fuck from NC State. These are the things that I like have learned over the past.
Because that's what it says in the back of his jersey, Scott. Fat fuck.
Like that's all I know. I don't know these kids' names. Like, and that's not how it used to be. I mean, you had a goofy ass Adam Morrison to draw some eyeballs
Fuck
in.
that
Like,
guy.
no, I know, but again, like there was
I
always
just need to
somebody
say
that
it.
you could point. Yes, well, of course, fuck him. But there's always somebody that you could point to and be like, all right, that's like the player of the year candidate, and you know, I at least know who that is. I don't know who the last like 20 player of the year candidates have been in college basketball.
I got to go back because Chase said I need to say it in the Lou Holtz voice.
Say what though?
He wants me to say, Steph walks so that Caitlin Clark can run.
Well done. Thank you, Lou.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
That's what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever I say something that's like really
Controversial.
a line like that.
Yeah, because you can just pass it off to
Just
whatever.
do it as Lou Holtz, and then I'm totally covered. Because I'll even get in the character. I'll put the hat on, put the glasses on, and just go in and talk about how we should be grateful that the men brought the women's game along with them.
While they were in the kitchen making sandwiches, we were hard at work evolving the game of basketball so that people would then watch them.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Glad to.
You know, it's crazy because I could like picture Lou's face
Oh God, it's
as,
so
as you're
good.
saying this shit. So like I'm
Oh,
fully
man.
crediting him with all of these things.
Oh Jesus.
Oh man.
Bar said, I swung comically early at a pitch in the show as soon as Mike busted out the point.
Oh gosh.
Thank you, Chase. He said he's fucking crying. Appreciate you, man.
I'm sure it's got nothing to
anyways.
do with the 28% THC blue Gatorade.
It makes the show, listen, it makes the show way funnier if you're high. Like I'm
Takes, we'll send some to your house, folks. Tell your friends.
Sarah said, I would not be surprised if Lou really felt that way. Catholics are known for thinking of women as the lesser sex. 100%.
I mean, yeah.
He thinks that way, Sarah. He 100% thinks that way.
Well, that's what the Bible says. Like, what are you supposed to do, man? Fucking Bible. I'm not Catholic, by the way. I used to be, but
You're recovering?
yeah, there you go. You can call it that. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but I think you kind of figured that out by now.
So now we have Caitlin going up against UConn, right? That's who
Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark going at it.
Another baller ass matchup between
another person that I've heard of. Like again, this is what I'm saying. Like the women names that I know outweigh the men like 5-0.
Scott, did you see that Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to come play in the Big Three?
Yeah, I did see that, and I thought that was genius. Because honestly, the WNBA needs her like they need water, bro. Like they're looking at her like so they cannot wait to get their hooks in some Caitlin Clark. Like they are ready for that golden goose. And I think she's gonna bring a lot of like eyeballs with her. I think this might be the time that the WNBA finally gets a little bit of a push for once, because they've been saying like, oh, this is gonna be the one, and then it kind of is, but it mostly isn't. But I think that she could actually be the one that pushes it in that direction a little bit further.
Well, and what was interesting too is they were pointing out too how her game can grow getting into the WNBA, and so even with that, it's like, so wait, you mean to tell me there's another gear for her? Like, are you
right?
Okay, like they're like, yeah, she can just develop that little jump stop game in the paint or in that mid range, and I'm like, dude, this is great talk. Like,
well, and I mean, they're going to steal the same thing that the men's, the NBA and the NFL have stolen from college for years too. They're going to go on ahead at the. No, they're gonna do the same thing when Reese gets to the WNBA as well. I mean, they're gonna hype up that rivalry wherever they end up. Like they're gonna milk that cow too, and they should. Like again, it's like a built-in thing. It all like flows right into it. So I know the WNBA is ready, but smart on Ice Cube to go out there and try to do it, because again, if you can milk that cow, go on ahead, man.
Fun fact. Indianapolis, I believe, has the first overall pick in the WNBA this year. So Caitlin may be coming to India Indy, guys.
India?
She's not going to India.
Dude, I'm tongue twisted. I'm drunk. Cut me some.
Better learn Hindu, buddy.
Dude, I would have a hard time because I would smash all of that cuisine.
Wow, I didn't know where that was going, but you said I'd have a hard time. I'm like, well, I know you'd have a hard time because you couldn't even understand Caesar saying what he said. So there's no way you're gonna have an easy time in India. You're fucked.
Oh man, no, I would eat so much, but then like I like my Indian food spicy, and obviously then it gives me the volcano shit, so it would just be a rough time. But I would have no apologies or regrets.
You just running around India shouting, "Do you speak English?"
Nah, man, I got a cell phone. I'd use Google Translate. It'd be fine.
Oh, God, that's less patronizing to just hold up your phone. Here, speaking of this so I can understand what you're saying.
God, Matt Barr said, better learn Hindu, buddy, is an all-time.
Dude, they play cricket in India, too. I fucking love cricket. It's a blast. Make a lot of money on cricket.
Let me ask you this.
Coincidentally.
This is the true tell to see how far women's basketball has truly come. Mookie, how much did you bet on that Iowa LSU game last night?
I didn't because I was
invested.
Damn it. I did, no. I didn't.
Guys,
because
we have tried so hard. We failed though. The women's game is not as far.
We haven't carried it as far as we thought.
The guy who bets on Little League baseball didn't put any action on the biggest women's college basketball game of all time.
Because I was invested in the outcome.
one,
I cared
please,
about what
Mike.
happened. I don't bet on Notre Dame football for the same exact reason, except
Not
for the
even a
bowl game,
prop?
because that shit didn't matter. No, because I wanted to, look, I'm going to be very honest. I wanted Iowa to win, but mainly because fuck Kim Mulkey. Like, she drives me fucking nuts, even though she can still get it too. But I wanted to watch the game, and I didn't want to put money on it because I didn't.
What? When's the last time you wanted to watch any sporting event without any action on it? Like willingly. Like I don't want I'm
Notre Dame football, FC Cincinnati soccer, Detroit Red Wings. That one, that's iffy. We'll take that one off the board.
Wait, so you don't gamble on
Arsenal
any of those?
soccer. Nope.
You don't gamble on any of those, really?
Nope.
I don't understand how you don't like bet the over on like the prop bets, like something like there's.
I thought for sure you bet on Notre Dame.
Like bet for your bet for a specific player on the team that you want to do well. Like there's a lot of ways for your degenerate behavior to show through.
You are right. Except the fandom clouds your judgment, and then you can't be a fair judge of value, and it hurts the bottom line.
Sarah said, Mookie with integrity? Who are you? And Matt Barr saying, we tried to turn Mookie's degeneracy into a positive for women's sports. And of course, he dropped the ball.
Sorry, but it's true. I looked at the lines. I was going to put money on LSU to come back when they were plus 300. But outside of that, like, I cared what happened.
Quick correction too, Mookie, get the more you know banner going here because Whitey correctly pointing out, Scott, that the language is called Hindi. It's not.
Well,
it's just a correction. We just got to make it.
That's fine. I just, that ruins the earlier joke as well. It's fine.
I know. I got you. I picked up what you were putting down. I got you. That's why I
was lucky. Honest to God, I was lucky I pulled Hindu out of my ass. I almost really flubbed and said Indian.
Oh, yeah, that would have.
Better learn Indian, buddy. Oh, wait, that's not it.
That would have got you one of these.
Race card.
Yeah. So.
One more thing about Caitlin Clark. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they are already talking about Caitlin Clark versus Steph next year in the 3-point competition at the All-Star game. Like they're already planning it. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Matt Barr pointing out Caesar said Konnichiwa and then said Chinese. We don't carry languages around here.
It's so true.
Robert Taylor said Scott missing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference is disappointing. I don't know what the reference was.
Which one? What did I miss?
Drop it in the comments for us, Robert.
I'm looking in the comments and I'm like, I don't see anything that.
Rex said that Mookie not betting on women's sports shows that he is not a true gender equality supporter.
Whatever, dude.
It's actually true. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with my decisions, and I had a great ass time last night, so suck it. I bet on the UConn USC game. Like, that doesn't count for anything? Like, what the fuck?
So you didn't bet on the one game, but you did on the other?
Because I cared about the outcome of the game. I don't bet on them when I am invested in them because then I don't trust my judgment and I don't want to lose money. I want to make.
So who did you want to win?
In what, the Iowa LSU game?
Uh-huh.
I wanted Iowa to win because fuck Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I knew you were gonna play that shit.
So no. You motherfucker, you said you had a vested interest because you cared. So I was just trying to see which side you cared about, but big shocker. You wanted Iowa.
Yeah. Can easily talk about her team and her players and all these fucking
you'd have been better off putting money on it, my friend. It would have showed less colors.
Yeah, whatever.
He did show.
I got nothing about it.
He did show less color by choosing Iowa.
Hey, I've seen white people before, you know what I'm saying? But you motherfucker, man, you white as mayonnaise, man.
I am for Iowa too. I'm sorry, Scott.
What? Hold on, wait. What did I?
Nothing. What? Who
was that for me?
What? No, I didn't say anything. Nothing. I didn't say nothing.
God damn it.
Nothing about nothing.
Well, I was looking at because Robert told me on he texted me, but it was the TMNT reference, which I always think of Ninja Turtles when I hear cricket, but I just didn't make the joke there because honestly I didn't know who else might get it on the show except for people. Maybe
fair
comments, but
fair. Well, let's shift to the men's game real quick because there's one thing I did want to talk about. This NC State run is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that this team is still alive.
Sorry, but when I see two of them comment on it, I have to put it up there because Chase said, Scott, it was for half of you. And then Tyson saying half of Scott was pulling for Iowa too. So
House divided over there. Scott was the house divided.
No comment. Yo, I don't like that LSU head coach. Fuck that bitch. Malarkey or whatever her name is. Yeah, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a fan of her. She can take her boas elsewhere. Like I'm fine with having your own style, but she just looks a little bit too ridiculous.
She's a peacock. She's like an actual peacock. The LSU is coached by a peacock. It's amazing.
So we're whatever. Fuck it. Whatever.
No, go Mookie. Go.
We're just gonna gloss over the fact that she is also a homophobe and basically hung Brittany Griner out to dry when she was detained in Russia the whole time. Like,
yeah, that's why I said I don't like her.
Okay, but so when I say I don't like her for those reasons, all of a sudden I'm a cracker, which again is fair, but like,
oh well, I said I mean I was just making a case for why you wouldn't like LSU, but I mean you didn't have to root against Reese. I mean
I guess that's true, but it's
look, that's what I see every time I see her name, Kim Malarkey.
And Sarah pointing out she would be a peahen, not a peacock.
Well played.
Give her the air horn. That was a good one.
I was gonna give her the more you know.
So what he's saying, Sarah Googled for that one. Are we up to 2 Googles now on the show today?
That's amazing. All right, real quick about North Carolina State. So they had to win the ACC tournament to get into the national championship tournament. Like they needed to win the ACC tournament or they were going to the NIT. Period. End of story. And in their first round of the ACC tournament, they were losing to Louisville, a team that is so bad that they are currently paying the coach they just fired more than they are paying the coach they just hired. Like, that's how dysfunctional that program is. But Louisville had them on the ropes. NC State wins that game. They go on this magical run through the ACC, and now they're in the Final Four, just barreling through. Here, somebody did the math on it. They had a 0.0097% chance of winning this many games in a row to get to the Final Four. They did all the odds and the pregame calculations. 10,314 to 1 odds for North Carolina State to go through the ACC tournament and to the Final Four. Like, that is bananas to me. And this is a perfect example of why we don't need to expand March Madness. Because how disappointing would it have been if North Carolina State was like, well, who cares if we don't do anything in the ACC tournament? Like, we're getting in. There's 96 teams to get in. So we're getting in this tournament. So it doesn't really matter. Like, we would lose out on this magical, amazing run that this team is doing if we caved to these.
Well, not only that, I mean, that's a prime example of a team that probably loses in the first fucking round. Because you got to believe that the momentum from each game and winning the ACC tournament has carried over to the next, where they like believe in the hype, they believe in themselves, they actually play up to what ability that they've always had, but for whatever reason hadn't unlocked. Like, you would totally dismiss all of that, because I guarantee you this same team, had they come in knowing, we're just going to be in the tournament anyway, would have been playing flat and got bounced in the first round. So it would be devoid of it all. Like, there's no reason to expand it. It's perfect the way it is.
Mookie, what do you make of this magical run from North Carolina State?
It's exciting. But they're going to expand anyways, because they're going to make the same case. They're going to use this as ammo of like, see, any team can win it. Even that, it might be the 78th team that wins it this year. We should go to 82, because imagine what that 82nd team is going to do. So it's kind of surprising to see that they can carry this momentum for this long, because the ACC tournament was like 3 weeks ago now. And so it's not just that they're winning 9 straight, but it's that they're winning 9 straight over like almost the course of a month to get to this point. And it's awesome to watch, but it's also like, man, do they have the steam to take it all the way, or is now the time to start fading them? I think I know the answer.
I don't know. I have a vested interest in the game, so
I'm not going to gamble.
I can't.
You're not going to bet on it. That's fair. Hey, you look, I understand that. I know how that goes because you can't judge value accurately when you're investing.
Matt Barr said Scott with the best sports take on this show ever. Only sports take that has ever mattered on this show ever.
I feel like that's a fucking insult to things that we've said the entirety of this show, but also, thank you.
Personally, I think Mike had a good point earlier in this show, but that's me. I don't know. One more story before we get off basketball. Rajon Rondo retired. Surprised me because I thought he retired like 2 years ago. I didn't realize he was still playing.
I was like, what? He's not already done? I haven't heard about Rondo since like the Mickey Mouse championship with LA. That was the last time I heard the name Rajon Rondo.
Oh, I remember hearing about Rajon Rondo in January when he got busted with weed and.
Yeah. But I mean, in playing basketball capacity. That's what I'm saying. I thought he was retired because in a playing basketball capacity. Haven't heard about him since the COVID championship with the Lakers. That was 4 years ago. So the fact that did he just send out like a tweet or a press release or something that said, "I'm done"?
I could almost guarantee it because that is exactly how Rajon goes out in the NBA is a tweet when people's accounts are like, oh shit, he's still on Twitter. Like, how about that?
Right. Like, I mean, I was so surprised, but good for him.
He retired with the bizarro Jordan facts. Back, I'm done. Scott, I'm looking up on I'm on Basketball Reference right now. He last appeared. Let's do
Gabe
beat you. Oh, Gabe.
Oh.
Okay, so 2 years ago.
It was 2022. Scott, who did Rajon Rondo end his basketball career playing for?
Oh, I've got a guess.
The Spurs.
No, incorrect. Mookie, what's your guess?
Wizards?
No, incorrect. He was a Cleveland Cav to end his career.
Get out of here.
Swear to God.
As soon as you said it, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I do remember seeing it.
The Lakers traded him to the Cavs.
Yeah, that when LeBron was done with them, he's like,
was it part of that Marshall deal?
I don't know what the trade was that moved him, but he played in 21 games for the Cavs, started one to end his career. So he was
he was there. He wasn't just catching a cup of coffee on a 10-day deal or in preseason. Like, he played.
Yeah, he played. Pre-show, though, Matt Barr, when this news broke, Matt Barr texted the group chat and
you got to play that clip. You
wanted to know what clip. What are you talking about?
The Chris Paul clip.
Oh, I don't have that. I don't have that one.
Oh, okay.
Come on, man.
I was just gonna say, way to put him on the spot on a clip that he would only have pulled up.
I just figured Joe's out here working hard to produce this show. I would expect he to put that in there. So let me see if I can pull it out for you somehow, Mike.
It's not good. Just don't do it.
Fine, Mike.
47 minutes in, we're still talking basketball. We got to get to tennis, guys.
Are you new here? Are you new here?
Rajon Rondo, as I mentioned, famously got popped for having a gun back in January in Indiana, and Matt Barr had a sip, chug, drain, pour for us. Your favorite shooting point guards: Rajon Rondo, No Chill Gilbert Arenas, and Ja Morant. So those are your three for your sip, chug, drain, pour for shooting point guards. Scott, who are you taking in this
shooting?
I'm pour draining Rondo. I am chugging Ja Morant, and I am sipping on hibachi.
Yeah,
I love me some hibachi. He might have CTE, but since I think that his popularity has only grown since he retired, because he has some of the most fire takes post career ever. He keeps it all the way real. I love me some No Chill Gil.
Mookie, what's your sip, chug, drain? Here?
It's the absolute right call in sipping hibachi. That alone, the fact he yelled out hibachi, I think is enough. But so that's an easy sip. I do think that I'm gonna have to poor drain Ja. Like, I want to take him because that's Caesar's guy.
I was gonna say Caesar is
But,
so mad
like,
at you right now.
I know,
He
but
is
like, dude,
yelling.
Rajon Rondo's next level crazy. Like, he's got the crazy eyes to go with just his crazy. So I want him by my side. So I'm gonna chug Paul / Rajon Rondo, and then poor drain job. Sorry, Caesar. Well, no, but here's the other part. Rajon is also the reason that Caesar's a Celtics fan. So, like, you could argue he's the most impactful NBA player of all time.
Guys, does that mean Caesar would have drain poured No Chill Gill? Since
He would have, because he's like old and it's like not of his time. Like, how many games did he see Gilbert Arenas play? Hell, his last games he probably saw him play for the fucking Cavs. Yeah, or the Big Three.
Yeah, that's right, because he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, he was a Cav too.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying.
God.
So it's like he probably knows him as a Cav or some bullshit
So
like
is this-
that. So
is
that
this
he
like-
probably would drain pour. God damn it! young
Is this
kid.
like some Nostradamus shit where we can put money that Ja's going to finish his career in Cleveland too?
you can find a few.
Yes,
That's what I would put your money on. Just Cleveland bringing in a 38-year-old point guard to end their career there. God bless Dan Gilbert, everybody. That's what he does. I'm sipping Gilbert Arenas. I am going to chug. I'm gonna chug Ja, and then I'm gonna drain pour.
the answer that I came up with first.
Yeah,
correct.
No reasons given. Just. Thank you, Scott.
But see, now I want to eat some hibachi too, though, because that shit sounds good.
No, that does actually sound really good right now. Let's do this story real quick. Let's do some hockey.
But hey, as they say in hockey, let's do that hockey.
Scott, the Cyclones, the Cincinnati
Why the
Cyclones.
fuck is Mookie already giggling?
Like,
I mean,
seriously.
because it's that transition. He hasn't seen the transition in a long time.
But it's still just so fucking hilarious. Let's do that hockey. Like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's go.
The Cincinnati Cyclones made national news this week because they were the first professional hockey team in the history of the sport, apparently, to start a starting lineup with all black skaters to start the game.
Oh, wow,
It's crazy because I went to a Cyclones game earlier this year, and when they were doing the intros, I was like, man, the Cyclones are stepping up their game. There's a lot of black. Scott wouldn't be able to name all these black guys on this team. There's too many. He wouldn't be able to come up with the ball. He'd get Evander Kane, and then he'd stumble around for the next 10 minutes. But like, they started an entire line of all black skaters, first time in history, and they did it on Scooby-Doo night, apparently, which was weird. And I wish they would have done it on Pride night, because the combination of starting all black skaters in your starting lineup and being Pride night would have been enough to blow people's brains. Like that
Clear off.
They would have been like, gay people, black people, it's hockey, god damn it. And then it would just be red, white, and blue confetti that falls all over the
5:36. 52:36 is the time code for that mic. 52:36. There's your promo for the week. Holy shit, that was good.
Were you excited to see this make a national news, Scott? Because first of all, it's pretty cool that the Cyclones name gets out there. They're an ECHL team. They're local, but they're minor league. They're not a professional team. So to see a minor league team make waves is pretty cool, anyways. But then to have it be from Cincinnati made it extra cool for me.
Yeah, no, I thought that was cool. It was one of those things that I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Like right around the corner from my job, and I had no idea until this happened. I was like, we do a horrible job of highlighting this when they've been playing hockey all season, and I just found out that they had enough black players to field an entire line. But also, I saw the picture of those guys lined up, and I was like, well, ain't this a bitch? Like, I'm so proud, and it's so cool of a moment for hockey and sports. And then I'm thinking, that's 5 more black guys than they can find for a starting baseball lineup. Ain't this some bullshit? Like, goddamn. That's like 5, 6, 7 teams worth of black guys in Major League Baseball. And that's just to get 5 in the lineup of 9. Like, it's so sad. It's amazing and tear-inducing all at the same time.
So does it change your opinion or anything that it was also Pups and Pucks night? So not only was it Scooby-Doo themed, but they also had people were allowed to bring their dogs into the game with them. I just want to know what that place looked like afterwards, because there had to have been piss and shit everywhere, right? Like,
Are you
people
saying
actually-
like from what? From the dogs or?
Yeah, from
gonna
people
say,
bringing their dogs
that ain't
inside
okay.
Heritage Bank. Like, are
Well,
you kidding me, man?
I feel
Dogs
like
don't
it's,
belong in a baseball field, let alone an indoor arena for.
I
That place
know.
had to smell like ass.
but on said night, as long as it wasn't like bring your German Shepherd to the arena night, like I feel like it's okay, right? Like I think it's all right.
So you're
Like,
street-
if a bunch of people brought German Shepherds, then it probably got a little awkward for
a little testy.
yeah. Like then piss and shit was the least of your concerns.
I did like Sarah.
Like turn off the
pointing out
fire
that-
hoses. Turn off the
that,
fire hoses, folks.
She says yes, but this was the way the OWGs could lump the players in with those meddling kids.
It's true. They look at their pants are like Scooby-Doo themed. Like
Wait, no,
like
they had a
Scooby-Doo
Scooby. No, look back. You see,
I know that. Yeah, they've got a Scooby-Doo jersey as well.
but they didn't wear the jerseys.
Not for the promo picture, because they wanted to make sure that this was a historical thing to have the Cyclones start a skating line of all black players. So they didn't want it to be in Scooby-Doo sweaters. Like they're we got like send them out in the regular sweaters, and then you can change into the Scooby-Doo shit. Like,
that's
Myers,
PR.
like-
That's PR 101 right there.
But at the same time, this shit with those socks, like all I can do is
I mean,
stare
it
at
looks
these
goofy
socks.
too. Well, it's like you're looking at that, and I'm also looking at like, yo, they couldn't like color spectrum these brothers. Like, like it's looking with me, and it's like we got the two lights, a dark, and it's throwing me off, man. Also, can we talk about? So I see the story, and I was like, and especially after we talked about having some white names and black names, and I was like, well, what are these brothers' names? And I look, and I was like, yo, if I just saw this list, I'd be like, what? This isn't a fucking like. There's no black players playing hockey tonight. We got Kyle, Josh, Elijah, Landon, and then Jalen, I guess, holding it down. But his last name is Schmerich. So, like, and you're not really mistaken a Jalen
You're
Schmerich.
telling me one of these dudes is named Landon? Like,
Yes!
Are you serious? Oh god.
Yes, and so I was just like, yo, we couldn't get a day something, a lay something, a Kobe shit. Like, it's like, all right, well, we made it on the ice, but we made sure we had the safest of names getting there. That's for goddamn sure. Because Lamont didn't show up to the hockey ring to practice. Boy, like,
Gabe's chiming in saying there's a Kyle. Wow.
yeah.
And then Tyson throwing out the option. It could have been Delandon.
Right. I mean, something.
And I like
that's borderline card. You're skating on thin ice there, buddy.
I'm just reading comments, man.
No, not you, Tyson. For the comment.
Okay. And then Rex asking a good question: was the goalie black too?
No, that's why they specified a line of all black skaters. So
Gotcha.
I don't believe the goalie is black for the Cyclones. But anyways, there's your do that hockey. Scott, how are your abs doing, by the way?
Oh, they're pretty good. My abs are doing better. Like they've been busted pretty much this entire show with laughter. So, but they're doing better. They're slowly getting everything. Abs are doing fine. Man.
Good.
They won the title recently, so I could turn off the care button for a little while.
All right, good. That sounds great.
He said abs too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I knew what he said, but I was like, I also want to highlight what I thought he said for half a second. How are my abs doing? Yeah, my abs are fine.
Oh man.
All right, let's shift gears here real quick. This one's for Rex. Let's talk tennis.
See, and I knew you were going to transition to that, so I thought you were checking his abs to see if he was ready to laugh a lot. Like,
Yo, and I thought that too. That's what I was like. Oh, that's a pretty good setup for going.
Yeah.
See, me and Mookie were on the same page on that one.
how your abs doing? And then you channeled the Happy Gilmore. Now your abs are going to hurt because we're going to talk tennis. Click.
Rex pointing out Janie Sinner is number 2 in the world, the first Italian ranked that high in tennis. ever. There you go. There is your tennis news for the week. I just wanted to play it again. I never end the segment with the clip.
I was just gonna say, I like how we don't wrap any of the segments but that one, but it's all of 2 seconds, so it works. And that was your tennis news for the week.
That he forgets the transition every time.
That's what makes it so great.
Sarah said that transition smacks.
Puns.
All right, let's talk what everybody wants to hear. Some baseball.
Here's the pitch. Oh shit!
It was opening week, everybody. We did it. The Reds got me excited. Scott and Chris did a great job breaking down opening week on Backwards K Baseball last night. But one thing that you guys did not talk about was the Cubs opening day celebration. The Cubs they're doing things, and I apologize for the green screen going crazy. It's because of the other monitor, but I'll fix that here in a second. The Cubs decided to announce their opening day starters, and they went all out, ladies and gentlemen. They got pyrotechnics. They were ready to go. So they announced their players to the weakest pyrotechnics display in the history. There's 4 little boxes. Only 2 of them goes, actually only like 1.5 of them.
I was just gonna say, it's only one goes off fully. The other one kind of
finally the second one gets a little kick. They would have done better if they just had little kids lining this blue carpet with sparklers. Like that would have been more impressive than the pyrotechnics that they actually did.
So bad.
Scott, if that's your Braves, if you're sitting there,
it would never be us. But go ahead.
It's just like not even worth talking about.
Yeah, no, I mean it would never be us. But hypothetically, go ahead.
Hypothetically speaking, that's your Atlanta Braves coming out on opening day to like the fart sound of a sparkler. What do you do in that situation? If you're a fan of that team, what do you do? Because
I don't even know, because it was so cold there. I don't even know. The Cubs fans probably didn't even notice. They're like, what the fuck is that down there? Like, I imagine that you had to be right up on that to even understand what it was, because it was so out of place. Like, you don't even usually see that on opening day. Like, the pyrotechnics thing isn't really that much of a thing. They usually do it like kind of out in center field if they do it. So it's just a weird all around display to see that. And I can't imagine they gave it much thought. Like, it was just like, oh, look at that bullshit.
That part saying Wrigley fans pee in troughs. Did you expect more?
I mean, literally, it was those pyrotechnics were this. That's what those pyrotechnics were. Like, that's it. It's like, we got pyrotechnics. 2024 Chicago Cubs. I like, who approved that? I would have stuck. I would, like, if I was PR or whoever's in charge of that, I'd be like, yo, shut it down. This looks like shit. Shut it down. Pretend they just went out or something. Like, fuck. Or make the interns get out there with sparklers and line that shit. Like, anything. It's just like, this looks horrendous.
PJ said if they didn't spend so much in the offseason, they could have gotten better pyro. I love it. That was my favorite part of opening weekend, was the Cubs pyrotechnics display. But Scott, I want to go to you because you've dug into this a little bit more than I have. I've read some headlines, and I feel like I can speak to it somewhat coherently, but I feel like you've got a little bit more in depth. But we got ourselves a good old-fashioned conspiracy theory on our hands, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
We have a big-time conspiracy theory as it relates to the Oakland A's. So since Scott is the baseball expert, I am going to throw it to him so that he can break this one down. We got to do this right. We got to get the music going, the intro. Scott, what is the Oakland A's conspiracy theory?
Well, I don't remember all of the players that were involved in it. Do you have that list of 4? Because I remember specifically, obviously, everything that got it kicked off was the fact that yesterday the Oakland Athletics sent down who was their starting center fielder on opening day last year. Now, through the course of the season, he lost a starting spot. There were skill level concerns, but it was mostly clear that the A's roster being what it was, he was at least one of the most talented players on the team that should be in the big league. Wasn't any worse than being in the big league. Fast forward to this season, everybody assumes he's, there's nothing to see here. He's going to make this team probably platoon like he had been. He started off kind of hot, and then all of a sudden, we're 5 games into the season. A really weird time for somebody to get sent down to the minors, especially with no injury, no substitution like that. They just called up a guy that everybody recognizes as much less skilled. Now, the weird part about it is there's a bar or a company that makes these. It's not an actual bar, right? It's just the company that makes the fans. Yes, that those kind of like in the know in the Oakland A's inner circle fandom refer to the Oakland Coliseum as baseball's last dive bar. And I didn't even really think this was like a big giant secret, because I'm pretty sure I've heard them, like, former A's players reference it on like MLB radio. But either way, this company makes these bands, and 4 players on the A's team, including Asterio Ruiz, were either suspended, sent down to the minors, traded, or released. And these bands happen to say "Last Great Dive Bar." And here's the picture of Asterio Ruiz for those of you who can see the picture. Those of you who can't, Asterio Ruiz has a rubber band on his forearm that reads "Last Great Dive Bar."
It should be noted, too, that this group has staged all of the anti-ownership protests in Oakland. So they were the ones responsible for the reverse boycott, which we made fun of last year when it was like, we'll show them, we're going to go to the games. Fuck you. So they are very anti-A's ownership, as is every fan in Oakland at this point. Like, all the fans hate the owners. But that's what these bands are, is like a protest against the ownership in Oakland. So for these players to then wear these wristbands highlighting this group that is anti-ownership and then get moved suspiciously, it definitely is saying something. And Scott, you guys talked about it last night on Backwards K. Like, the one thing that has changed in the last collective bargaining agreement was the manipulation of service time. So, like, in the past, they could have disguised this Ruiz move as like trying to save service time and like whatever, helping out with that. But there's no defense of this. The dude was hitting like 400, wasn't he? Like, he was balling out to start the year. And
well, I mean, he was like,
for no
he had an early small sample size batting average. He was batting like 384, something along those lines. No reason to really get sent down, and the reasons that they gave make sense, except for under the context of 5 games into the season, you don't usually make a move like that unless a guy is just clearly struggle busing it to the point of not being able to, swing a bat properly or get a pitch over for a strike without somebody hammering it. So very suspicious. And Brett Rooker, one of their other like name players on that team, also getting benched, made little to no sense. Now, they said it was a scheduled day off, which it's hard to dispute. But, it again, the timing and all of these players, having worn that band seems mighty petty on the ownership's part, if that is indeed the reasoning for the moves. If team construct and winning be damned, because they would clearly be better with these players on the team than off. But if the ownership group or the owner himself was that triggered that they saw this and thought, we're going to teach all these motherfuckers a lesson, that's Hall of Fame petty level right there. I kind of applaud it.
Do we believe the conspiracy theory? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Mookie, you are the silent observer here. You're kind of on the outside. You don't give a shit about baseball. Hearing the facts presented to you by Scott, do you believe this conspiracy theory that the owners were sending players down as retribution for wearing these wristbands?
I mean, candidly, I don't really care as long as the A's keep losing because I'm up like 400%. So, like, let's go, baby. Fade the A's. But that's also exactly what they're doing.
Respect the game. Respect the game.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, apologies. I know we're talking baseball, so it's really serious. Right?
But you're also not up. Like, if you have been following the system to fade the A's, which I have been this year, I've bet against the A's every single game. They have currently won one, so you had to double your bet once. You are up. I think it's 1.5.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I forgot to double the bet.
Oh, you idiot!
Well,
you dummy!
Well, good thing I got a spreadsheet to track it. So, like, here we can just
dummy.
we'll just
Yeah,
adjust
that's the
like,
key. When
theory,
they
if I would have
fuck
doubled
up and win one, you go ahead and double that next one. You make that money right back. By the end of
it's still about the same ballpark, but like this is exactly what's happening. That's what ownership's doing. And the question I have is like, at what point does the league step in and do something? Because this is
they said there's people
right?
talking
But,
about having the Players Association step in, because if they are just holding them down, like that's declining jobs and messing around with that shit. So it becomes a labor issue at that point if they can
like
are doing that.
I'm also curious though, because like the dude they traded, do you think he's actually, you know what, this worked out great, I'm not there anymore, fuck it, like I'm in a much better situation as a result? Or would he be better in Oakland still getting playing time? Like
It's hard to say. But if your boss like actively hates you enough to go out of his way to do something like that, you're probably better off just not being there anymore.
Right. So like they're
situation be damned.
Yeah. It's just so bonkers, man. Like one of the tweets that the TikTok video that Matt sent across had something. They had like 3,800 fans at opening day. Like that's absurdly low. Like I've seen more fans at a middle school basketball game, for Christ's sake.
It's bad, but also the team is leaving, and then like they're leaving the city. So yeah, of course you're going to have low attendance because people
you're still putting an entertainment product out on a field into a market. You would think there'd be at least that many more people who wanted to go and watch a sporting event.
But are you putting an entertaining product out on the market?
There you go.
You're not. Like
that's
PJ
why they're here.
PJ saying they're the real life Cleveland Indians from Major League. That's okay because that was the team name in Major League. That's what you're allowed to say there. They're gonna win the whole fucking
good cover. I was just reading what was on the screen. That in the movie.
I was just following orders.
Back in the day, okay. Their mama called them the Indians. I'm gonna call them.
Yeah, that felt a little dirty too now, didn't it, Mike?
That was a step too far.
Yeah.
That was a step too far.
Lou quoting an African stereotype. That's peak comedy right there, folks. Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so sorry. This episode is getting us canceled for sure. Oh my god!
I've been saying that a lot lately for some reason.
I know, but this episode between Mike's He-Man Woman Haters Club shit on his diatribe about women's basketball, and now this, we're fucked.
No, we aren't. Look, Scott, if there's blowback, this is when we steer. It's what Tank has been telling us all the time.
Yeah,
just steer hard right, and then boom. Next week we show up. We got Oakley's on. We do the show from the cab of our truck. Fucking golden, baby. We are.
So we're gonna have to go buy a fucking truck? Like that's not in the budget. What are you talking about?
It's all hypothetical, so.
Right, because you're right. Because Scott's still waiting on those Swifties to beat down his front door, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those
and the Beehive too, right? Didn't you go after both of them in the same week?
And I'll do it when we get big too. I don't give a shit. Tell them to come holler at me.
Catch these hands.
Yeah, their idols are overrated. That's all. Sorry. If the truth upsets you, you're bad.
Oh shit. Scott, am I wrong to have hope this year? Like I was tempering excitement coming into the season. I was like, there's a lot of guys that were rookies last year, sophomore slumps incoming. I'm lowering my expectations. I thought that the Reds would. I bet the over on their win total for the year because I'm not a coward, and I bet 4 teams that
because you're clearly not that invested in their success because you know it's not happening.
I do know it's happening. That's why I put a significant unit on the Reds over at 81.5 because I do think
$2.
It was a little bit more than that, Mookie. Okay, like I feel pretty good about it. I put a 5 spot down. Pay out like 916, so in your face. But no, like I was tempering my excitement, and then 3 innings in to this season, I was like, nope, I'm in. I'm all in on this team. They're gonna be great this year. And then last night they hit the walk-off. Well, it's not a walk-off grand slam. They hit the grand slam in the 10th inning that got me super pumped, which, by the way, the best part of that grand slam was the Phillies announcer saying, Spencer Steer has never had a grand slam in his career. Let's hope that streak continues. And then, boom, gone, grand slam.
Oh, that's precious.
Classic announcer jinx.
Phillies.
But now they're losing 8-2 to the Phillies. Like, should I not have gotten excited, Scott?
Nah, you're fine. I think the Reds are going to do pretty well for themselves. If they can keep the damn injuries at bay, I think they're going to do all right. They play in a division that's just all right. So I think that's going to wash over a lot of whatever.
The Pirates are undefeated.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So they play in a division that's just all right. So they have a little bit of margin for error, which they might need because they're young and whatnot, but I think they're capable of winning the division at the very least.
I like that. I like the sounds of that. That gets me really excited.
They're talking dirty to you. Huh?
Yeah, I'm at least half chub right now. Hey, speaking of half chub, we haven't seen any penises in these pants in MLB, but man,
a lot of sweat. A lot of sweat.
Wait till it gets to
A
July.
lot of see-through jerseys, man. My God.
It's very Sean Miller in the MLB right now. Very Sean Miller on the sidelines.
I thought these were supposed to be more breathable. This is like the opposite. I don't remember seeing as many sweat-soaked jerseys in my entire life as I have in the past 2 months. What the hell is going on? They're supposed to be more breathable.
They were the performance uniforms, and they're terrible. The names on the back have been called Little League, and then what I love is that they're uniforms that just aren't ready yet. Like, I don't know how they're not ready. The Cardinals on Saturdays like to wear blue. Teams always have like their uniforms. The Reds always wear red on Sundays, and then the Cardinals always wear blue on Saturdays. But their blue uniforms aren't ready. They just don't have them. How are you, as a supplier for a major league, like a major sporting league in the United States, how do you not have the uniforms ready day one, ready to go?
Right, this isn't COVID. Like, it was acceptable during COVID. We're like, all right, everything's fucked up. The world's fucked up. So everything's on back order. Everybody's trying to there's a bunch of shit just sitting in a dock somewhere because we can't unload it.
Chain.
Right, but I don't understand how the only, like, this is their job now, and we don't have supply chain issues.
This is your job now.
Yeah, like, you are the supplier of the fucking jerseys. That's like your one thing. You've paid a bunch of money to be this thing, and you're telling me that for the players in the opening week, when you've had the entire offseason to mass produce this shit, they are still not ready? What the fuck are we doing? Is this a professional league? Is this like, I don't understand how Major League Baseball isn't like a tad bit embarrassed by this whole fucking thing. We're sitting here talking about this shit. We've never talked about the jerseys other than the styles and like why they look ugly, but not about like the fabric, not about them just not being there, not about weird imperfections left and fucking right, not about dong showing. Like, God damn it, man. God damn it. This is like, fuck, man. Baseball is always 2 steps forward and 12 steps back. They're like, oh, we're the most popular shit in the world. This is the most popular. Oh, everything's great. Like, everybody loves these faster games. Popularity's never been this big. It's been a long time since like steroids. And they're like, oh, and we can't, like, our players can't get their uniforms. Like, basic shit, like the foundation of the game. They're like, guys, we can't play the game today. The Bulls just never got here. Like, we'll try again tomorrow. Like, we're checking the mail. Amazon says it should be delivered before 8. Like, hopefully we'll get a game in.
Away.
Yeah. Like, what? Like, how, man? It's fucking ridiculous.
Tyson wants to know, are all the Fanatics MLB jersey dumpster fires?
Yes.
Yes.
Every single one that they produce. Yeah. All of
Can
them.
we actually judge that since they haven't shown up yet? Like, if
No,
they're not there,
I mean, the one
We already know.
The ones that
We
are
already know, dude.
So you're judging on a smaller
Is it-
sample size.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like when the Reds were out there on opening weekend, it looked like their uniforms didn't have the front letters sewn on. It looked like it was like screen printed onto.
Yeah,
Probably
that's the style. Like it's not a textile thing. Like they're going like extra dry fit across the board on this shit. Which Sarah went there, so I don't know if we want to go that far. But since we're already getting canceled,
I guess we're just getting real racist with it this week.
I
I guess,
mean, no, we
I
don't
guess the
have to.
comments section is leaning into it too.
Fourth host is steering right with us. Hey, come on, boys.
Okay. And Rexamillion wants to know: are we talking the no hitter yet, or is the backwards K
crazy.
thing I need to wait for? Yeah, no hitter happened, and we're going to talk more about that on backwards K. But I need to get this in too. Like him saying that about the no hitter made me think, God damn. So every fucking moment this year, when something like that happens, they'll be like, oh, we're going to send this jersey to the Hall of Fame. So now we're going to have a historical record of how shitty these jerseys are for everything that happened this season. Thanks, Major League Baseball. Dear fucking God.
I didn't even think about that. I hope somebody breaks the single season home run record now. I hope we get a chase for the home
And here
run
we
record.
have this sweet jersey from the season. Like, it's gonna look like, you know how have you seen, speaking to bring it back to Ninja Turtles, like Rob asked me earlier, have you seen where like what the Ninja Turtle the original suits for the movies look like now, where it's like nightmare fuel? Like they've degraded to that point. Like that's how the jersey's gonna look. Only it's gonna be like 5 years from now. 5 years from now, like, and this was the jersey that was worn during that record-setting moment. And they're like, "There's nothing there. There's nothing there." Well, yeah, I mean it kind of just fucking fell apart. Like we're still waiting on the jersey to get here. Like we ordered we ordered a replica. We ordered a replica replacement. It's on back order. Like, what do you want us to do? But like a bunch of rich white guys got more rich because they signed this really lucrative deal. So you know, what are you gonna do?
Or maybe Scott, what you're trying to say is where are you gonna go?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I opened the door
that's
for
where
that,
you were
and that's a
going.
real cheap one. Like, you know what? I usually give you credit for it, but that one doesn't count.
Because I would sit here trying to find that in, and it just don't want. Oh God,
God, are
Mike.
these the
Oh,
uniforms?
Jesus.
The
Yes,
thing we're
yes.
talking about?
Yeah, that is
cannot be
exactly
the original movie. There's no way that's the original movie costume. It can't.
Well, for one,
That's
you
what
know
the
it's not
receding
because the actual it's from the third one, because the spots on the head those spots were in the third movie costume. But either way, that's even closer in time to where we are, and that's what it is degraded.
It looks like
That's
I'll try to
terrifying.
describe it as best I can for the audio.
Nightmare fuel.
It looks like if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossed over into the Walking Dead universe and Donatello was bitten and was chasing after Rick Grimes. Like it looks like one arm is falling off.
There's so much gum.
For some reason, there's a lot of wear and tear around the crotch. I don't know what that's all about. And then also the lips have like peeled back from the mouth even
It's just
further to
gums,
reveal like a lot of gums and teeth, and it's weird.
And it's so creepy how the eyelid is like
Droopy.
falling apart, but still there.
It's got a Mike eyelid. That's a problem. He's got a sty going on there. Poor Donatello.
Oh
But
my
you can
god.
see some of the eyeball through the eyelid, though. Like, oh god,
Sucks.
Terrell oh god. Give it to him. It does look like Terrell sucks.
Matt Barr said this is so much disrespect for the OG movie.
I mean, yeah,
all
but
of
it's like this is history, man. What are you gonna do?
Right,
about it,
and
right?
this is what the jerseys are gonna look like but real soon though.
Right.
Like that Renel Blanco jersey is gonna look exactly like this in 5 years.
Ryan said, first thing I see when I tune in is Tyrone Biggums as a Ninja Turtle. That's some creepy shit, Scott. I wish you would have never pointed that out
why?
to me.
Why?
Because
Why is this
because
where we
I
had
had
go?
to see that
Like,
within the last 3 years. Like that's a thing that like it started circulating the internet within the last 3 years, and I'm like, oh my god, it's scary.
Yeah, that
You
was.
can't
I'm
unsee it
seeing a
either.
story from.
But there
October
are your
2nd.
Fanatics jerseys, folks.
Yes, that is the MLB
Yeah.
jerseys this year. The rotting Donatello. This is actually Leonardo. It's degraded so bad that
Oh my god.
that's actually the Leonardo costume.
Oh.
And they said this is back in 2019. The costume's worth is estimated to be in the $15,000 range. Jesus.
Also, Mike, can you put it up one last time so we could hit Whitey's comment?
Yes, absolutely.
Whitey, y'all got any pizza?
Golly, man. I can't get the Terrell Suggs out of my
I know. It's so good. That's such a good shout.
It is.
Oh shit. Okay. Speaking of Terrell Suggs, let's do this this quick football story before we get out of here. Where is the football drop, guys? The UFL kicked off this weekend. So the XFL and
Yes.
the UFL have combined to make the UFL. I give them a year and a half. And the fun,
I bet it's got big Dwayne energy.
I guess The Rock got called out because some dude, like there was a cheap shot at somebody's legs, and this guy's like, The Rock better step in and take care of us players. And then some other dude from, I think it was from DC, got thrown out of the game because he was spitting on people. Like, UFL is crazy, fellas. It's banana land over there. But the story that I found, and the
I
other
want somebody to
story
cut a promo and call the Rock out. Like, yo, they down there breaking legs. Rock, what you gonna do? This Sunday, I'm gonna figure it out, goddammit.
There was one story that kid like hit a field goal, a game winner, and he hasn't kicked a field goal since high school, and now NFL teams are looking at him like it's crazy what's going on in the
UFL. 64-yarder to win it for the Michigan Stampede. Yeah, I think they're horses. Yeah, 64-yarder to win it.
Mookie, the moment did not get to him. He knew he was not worried about the moment.
Above the moment, and he seized the moment. Really, is what it is. Like he took that moment, made it his bitch.
That was the big story. But also, what I found funny was I tuned in. I watched the Brahmas on Sunday a little bit because that was Caesar's team, and all I could think of when I saw that the Brahmas were playing was Caesar doing the Brahma bull charge thing and making that weird noise. So I watched a little of the Brahmas game and tipped the cap to Caesar. But they don't do the kickoff rules. They do regular kickoff rules. The NFL looked at the XFL and was like, you know what? The one thing we're going to take is that kickoff rule. And then the XFL merged with the USFL, and we're like, nah, fuck it. Just do the regular kickoffs. Like the NFL.
That's fantastic.
The NFL stole a rule that the UFL does not implement, and I think that's gold.
That's amazing.
That is absolutely
there is some more shit though that I hope they steal from him, and it's funny to me that the UFL, which is got to have a shoestring budget, is able to afford this. But did you say they have a first down chip ball? Like well, actually, I don't know if it's the ball's chipped or if it's because they said they've got 6 4K cameras positioned throughout the stadium that can give exact location of the ball where forward progress is stopped.
Yeah, the NFL has claimed to have had that for years now.
So why the fuck aren't they using it? Like
that was one of those gimmicks that started in a Super Bowl, and then they're like, yeah, it's so expensive that that we can only have it for an event like this.
Bullshit.
They've claimed to have had that shit at various other games throughout years since, and I don't know where that's actually used.
Well, now they
'Cause
need
you
to because if
never see
UFL
them
can
using
afford it,
that
and I
shit.
gotta tell you, it's awesome. Like there was a review, and it wasn't even a review. It's like I think they like buzz it to the referee's watch or something, where it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
5 inches short of the first down or whatever. Like that's amazing. Like why do we not have that yet? Like this isn't baseball where you have to have the human element in this stupid game. Like take a cue from the right stuff. But I will say they have some other shit that the NFL better stay the fuck away from, because the play the guy got tossed out on was a touchdown, except they went and they reviewed it for a false start. Dude who spit on the guy and got kicked out got called for a false start. So they overturned the touchdown. He got ejected, and they had a 20-yard penalty for the 5-yard false start and the 15-yard personal foul.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Not only is it not a touchdown, you've been penalized 25 yards.
And your ass is gone. Like,
oh my God.
It was quite a sequence of events there. Dean Blandino was earning his salary right there. And Matt Barr with the exact correct.
Matt hitting us with the real truth.
Yeah, because the NFL can't orchestrate it if they embrace technology.
I was
Wow, that's pretty good there, Scott.
that was really good. Oh, Rex pointing it out. We are officially in overtime.
Miller for 3. Oh, he backed it in. We're going to overtime.
Well, since we're in overtime, Gabe now saying the NFL is in bed with Microsoft, and that's why they can't do it. I think it's more the referees union that's holding up the progress, because those old guys holding the chain that run out there, they don't want to lose their job. Like
They sure don't.
They're like, listen, I'm 112 years old. This is all I got left. So if you implement this technology, I'm just gonna die, because this is the only thing keeping me alive. And then they have to run out and like. I love how they daintily have to like put the chain right at that link has to go right in this button. Just put it right there. They need all those guys. They can't. The referees
They
union
still
won't
get
let
it
it go.
wrong. That's my favorite part. They still get it wrong.
Oh yeah, of course.
And it's not even close either. Like, drives me nuts. Also, Mike, are you going to take that fucking turtle off of the screen? It's creeping me out. Because it's still sitting down here as like the fourth host in our little rundown thing. And I keep looking down. And I'm like, God, Jesus Christ.
So good.
Oh,
it's
God,
so scary. You're gonna see that in your dreams, dude.
Oh, hands down. I'm gonna see it when
No, I
wake
can't
up.
look at it without seeing the part Mike talked about where his crotch is extra.
It's very worn out on the crotch. I don't understand why.
Go figure, right?
Who was doing what was
Is
somebody doing
is
from
that
the-
after Nickelodeon acquired the rights to TMNT?
Oh god damn.
Oh, boy.
God damn.
Oh,
Too soon?
boy.
Too soon?
Woo-wee. That's
Too
right.
soon?
Hang on. Okay,
E-break.
let's talk. We're in overtime. We might as well. Hang on.
What? Why? I don't get it, man. Like,
Oh, that was great.
Quiet on the set, guys. I'm 2 episodes in. That shit is crazy. That is wild.
dude.
What was
Yeah.
going on at
Yeah.
Nickelodeon? Like
There's a
knew-
bonus episode. There's 4, and when you finish the 4th, you're just gonna be like jaw on the floor. And then they're like, "Hey, we're making a 5th bonus episode," and I'm like, I cannot wait for this shit because the first 4 were crazy as fuck.
It's really killing me because like they reference a lot of shows that I was too old for, so I didn't see a lot.
Yes,
of that. Like
except for when they
wasn't
dip into
into-
the all that cast. That's where it hits a little bit. 'cause I'm
Which
like,
can we talk for a second about Keenan? Because Keenan came out on a podcast and was like, listen, I know all this came out and my heart goes out to all the victims, but I didn't really run with Dan Schneider like that. Like I was leaving all that by the time he was getting there, and we didn't really overlap a whole lot. He wasn't a showrunner on Keenan and Kel, so we didn't have that same interaction. So, I didn't really know him. I didn't know what was going on. Sorry to hear all that. Bitch, Dan Schneider was in Good Burger. Like that man was
that's
in
what I
the movie
thought.
Good Burger. And then when
Is
they
he in
started
Good Burger
talking
2?
about- I haven't watched Good Burger 2 yet. I need to watch that one. That's on the
Highly
list.
recommend. It's worth it. It goes
It's
quick.
on the list for sure. But
Yeah.
Dan Schneider was in Good Burger. Like he was a part. And then when they started talking about all that and they talked about the They interviewed that girl who used to do the Ross Perot impression. Like, that was same time as Keenan. Like, Keenan was on the cast during that time. It wasn't like he was on his way out. Listen, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying I'm a little nervous for Keenan. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. But I'm not saying.
Especially if he's denying it that hard. I could see. Yeah, I mean, because Jesus, man, that was like, it was hard to watch for like I said, for the ones you recognize, because there's plenty of them that was just like, all right, that shows after I timed out, and you don't have the same, but for the shows you watched, it's like, makes me feel some type of way. Like when they would show the old clips of all that, I was just like, damn, man, like, fuck, we used to sit there and laugh at that shit, and this was what was happening at the same time. Like,
even the ones that we aged out of, like the shows with like Ariana Grande and stuff, watching the clips of what they were making that feels so gross and so disgusting. Like, even watching those clips, and it's crazy because, like, again, I didn't see it at the time, but like, would we have caught on? Would we have realized, like, this is pretty fucking weird that a 13-year-old girl is pretending like she's getting a cum shot on her face, but it's not really a cum shot, it's mayonnaise. Haha, get it? Like, it's fucking weird, man.
Or squeezing a potato, because that worked into the plot somehow for some reason. That belonged in there.
Yeah, it's all very weird.
Yeah, so this is how we're gonna end, huh? Okay, cool.
It's overtime. Anything goes, baby.
I mean, fuck. What is this downer?
It's Craft World Sports After Dark.
This is not the kind of After Dark we want, man. We don't want that to be our After Dark. Like, no.
Oh no, I mean, but we're talking
that After Dark. Shit.
We're not talking about the actual acts. We're talking about the show and just how it made us feel. Like,
it's a very good documentary. I highly
it really is.
If you've got Max, to go check out Quiet on the Set, because it's. But Rex pointed it out, and it will happen. It will absolutely ruin your childhood. Like, there is no doubt about it. Your childhood is ruined after watching it, but it's something you probably should see. And thank you, Rex. That is the perfect way to pull the ripcord. And
I couldn't wait any longer, because Rex pointed out, he's like, hey, play the tennis transition. Like, that's the only thing that can save this right now. So I was sitting here hovering the whole fucking time, like.
Let's talk about these beers that we were drinking. I'm really glad we used the Caesar scale now after ending on that.
Matt Barr, end the show. Yes, absolutely. Bill.
What was your beer and dog or no dog?
I was drinking Sonder Brewing's Carmen's Carrot Cake Dessert Ale with all the stuff that's in a carrot cake. Only 4.8%, but didn't matter because it's a dog. The flavors hit. I love it. So,
I'm so mad at it.
Full endorsement. Find it.
Rookie, what were you drinking, dog or no dog?
Oh, it's a dog, because it's from Brewdog. It was the Nani State Hoppy Golden. Oh, so crushable. It went down too fast. Pause.
Mr. Sheffield.
Oh, God. It seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, right?
We've covered a lot of ground since then. It's been all over the map. I was drinking a combination of Founders All Day IPA and All Night IPA, so I did a little black and tan type IPA mixture. Really good. Highly recommend. Definitely a dog. If you get the variety pack, do yourself a favor, give a little mixy mix, and enjoy the night. Because holy shit, was that good, fellas? You know what this was? This was a show. This was a show. Are we going to be back next week?
Like, yeah, maybe.
We're going to try. We'll see
with the new host. Maybe we'll invite some black players named Kyle on the show. Who knows?
Probably be the one.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you, the fourth host, the comment section. You never disappoint. So thank you very much for checking it out, for commenting, for keeping the show fun and all over the place. Be sure to subscribe to that YouTube channel. We got more stuff coming on there, so make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends if you got somebody who would enjoy this ridiculousness. Hit that share button, share it to whatever social media site you prefer, and tell your friends to check us out and have them subscribe too. Let's grow this shit, fellas. Okay, let's do that. And shout out to everybody in the Facebook group. Go join that. You can follow the show at Crafty Sports on Instagram, on Twitter. We're on TikTok too. And shout out Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com. Tons of great content there. Go hit them up and subscribe, rate, review to all the Belly Up Sports podcasts on the Belly Up Sports Media Network. We will see you all next week. Cheers, everybody.
Hey, Ethan, hit your boy up. We're going to play some street hockey, my dog.
You'll never walk alone, dog.
Feel like poop right now.